Good evening and a very warm welcome from the newsroom. Amongst several decisions taken by the Cabinet of Ministers in yesterday's meeting, the Cabinet has requested that the Immigration Department exercise greater scrutiny on the entry of Nigerians into Seychelles. This follows various incidents involving Nigerian citizens, which included the arrest of 13 Nigerian citizens within the last 2 weeks with drugs, and an incident where 62 Nigerian citizens were involved in fraudulent activities at various tourism establishments. The Cabinet also agreed that the Immigration Border Control System be referred to as the Seychelles Electronic Border System, SEBS, and not Travisory. All airline operators will be advised that all airlines will allow any person holding a valid Seychelles passport to board from any port of embarkation to the Seychelles, and that the Seychelles Electronic Border System entry filling requirement will be optional for Seychellois. Aspiring Nurses is a new initiative which the Nurses Association has launched in order to encourage more young people to join the nursing profession. The initiative will be carried out by aspiring nurses clubs which have been set up in all secondary schools across the country. The clubs were launched during a ceremony at the National Institute for Health and Social Studies, the NIHSS, yesterday morning. The Chief Nursing Officer, Gillian May, said that there was still a need for more nurses, both for public and private services.
In December 2022, there were 623 practicing nurses, with 73 working with the public health sector and 27% working in the private sector. Despite the recruitment of newly graduated nurses, the number and skill sets acquired through work experience of those new recruits have not been sufficient to fill the gap. In the past 2 years, the Ministry of Health has recruited 41 newly graduated from the NIHSS. We cannot deny that things have changed so much from Florence Nightingale, but the concepts of serving, advantage and disadvantage equally is still the pillar of the nursing profession. Hence, it is also important to try to attract more people to this profession, since it is eminent that we need them to be able to attain our main objective of reduction of mortality and morbidity.
As part of Careers Week activities, the Ministry of Education has organized a session for students to take teaching as a career. This was done through the relaunching of Aspiring Teachers Club in secondary schools. During the ceremony at site, the leaders of the clubs were presented with their badges and other documents.
This initiative of this afternoon is really to revitalize and embark on a process for institutionalizing the Aspiring Teachers Club. That's the main idea, given that in 2015 we launched the Aspiring Teachers program, and we saw there was a need to put in place the appropriate structure for the program to really bear the fruits that we anticipated. So we launched the Aspiring Teachers Club in 2020, and now we want to take it to the next level, make sure that it becomes an integral part of schools. The aim to ensure that we have a structured pathway for nurturing young, dynamic students who would like to be teachers.
How to further grow the Ministry of Chaplains in the Seychelles Defence Forces was the main point of discussion between the Chaplain General of the South African Armed Forces, Reverend Brigadier General Ernest Thabo Masweu, and President Wavell Ramkalawan during a courtesy call at State House this morning. General Masweu was accompanied on this visit by his compatriot, Pastor Colonel Malcolm Pillay. Also present at the meeting were the Chief of the SDF, Brigadier Michael Rosette, Chaplain Colonel Louis Agatzin, and 2 members of the National Assembly Defence Committee. General Masweu said the main aim of his visit is to share their successes, future plans and experiences with the Defence Forces and the chaplains.
one of the things that we have picked up is, Colonel Lakatin has been there as the only chaplain for a very long time. And our issue here is to say the Defense Force is growing. The whole ministry that is in the Defense Force is also growing, which then says we need to look at future where we say, can we not have another chaplain? Can we not have additional chaplains that will assist in making sure that wherever the soldiers are deployed, they will get the chaplain support. So we were discussing maybe a different structure that can look into expanding chaplaincy and so on. Of course, all these things, are affected by finances and so on. But if we plan for the future and so on, as South Africa, we are saying we're willing to really help out in, forming up a structure that can help the colonel, the chaplain, to say at which point can we say we are increasing? At which point can we say we are bringing in other experts to come in and to say, how do you give more support to the troops, to the soldiers, and even to the entire structure? Because with us, as the chaplain general, my support goes to even the president, So we need to get to that point where we're saying the chaplain here is able to round everybody with enough members that are supporting him. As a senior chaplain, we'll have the junior chaplains that are going to do the work on the ground. Those are the things that we are discussing, even the courses that we offer in South Africa, to develop a chaplain to be very effective in their work.
The President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum and Speaker of the National Assembly, Roger Mossian, attended the organization's 53rd Plenary Assembly, which was held in Arusha, Tanzania, from the 1st to the 8th of July. Mr. Mossian led a parliamentary delegation, including the chairperson of the Regional Women Parliamentary Caucus, Regina Esparon, Rosie Bistoke, who is the chairperson of the Gender Equality and Women Advancement Youth Development, and Tanya Isaac, a member of the Committee of the Clerks of SADC PF. This plenary assembly was held under the theme Modernizing Agriculture to Address Food Security and Youth Unemployment in the SADC region, role of the Parliament. The Creative Seychelles Agency has opened a photography and digital art exhibition at Kenmin House. 17 artists are participating with a mix of photographs and digital artwork. The exhibition will be open to the public until the 12th of August. The Creative Seychelles Agency says that it is the first exhibition to encourage the participation of non-traditional digital media.
I decided to go back in time and use negatives that had been taken by me, nearly 40 years ago. In Seychelles, we're still quite fond of our traditional art forms. We have a lot of painting, we have some drawing, we have printmaking, and we have sculpture. But increasingly, we find that artists in Seychelles are adapting to, if you like, a new era of developing art through technological processes. And digital art fits very well with that movement. So it's very good to see this show. What we see here is a snapshot of where we're at in Seychelles in terms of people using new technologies to transform the way they communicate visually. A lot of the artists here, including myself, still paint. We still make work in a more traditional way, but it's nice to have more of a repertoire to broaden the portfolio.
This was our news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Have a very pleasant evening. And our next program on SBC is the local agriculture program, Récolte.